It has been difficult, but a necessary process. Post-COVID-19 pandemic, which overwhelmed our global village in general and our city in particular. Indeed, our world will never be the same again after that global catastrophe. We will all agree that we lost our dear siblings, loving parents, children, colleagues, and neighbors. Our city did not escape the COVID-19 calamity, as we unfortunately lost the following esteemed members of the Buffalo City Council. And those councillors were about four. I won't mention the names. In addition, the municipality lost many senior and junior officials due to COVID-19 related diseases. We shall continue to pay homage to them. I skip the names deliberately. Honorable Council members, several workshops for councillors and traditional leaders about the draft budget and IDP were held. You had an opportunity to critique the current state of the municipality and further proposed solutions. It was not only critique, but our citizens proposed solutions. Esteemed guests who represent different fraternities were earnestly consulted and genuinely expressed their views. Board committees of Buffalo City worked with communities to streamline ward priorities under the stewardship of ward councillors. Honorable councillors and BCM citizenry, this extensive consultation is a true people-centered development that is espoused in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Adopted in 1996 and local government white paper that was adopted in 1996. We therefore pride ourselves with the consultation, as the executive mayor will expand on the BCMM priorities based on the will of the people and affordability. As the country celebrates 27 years of its constitution, we are proud to be the agents and proponents of advancing social transformation agenda. In adoption of the Constitution event, the former President of the Republic of South Africa, Dr. Nelson Mandela, had this to say, I quote, "The new Constitution obliges us to strive to improve the quality of life of the people. In this sense, our national consensus recognizes that there is nothing else that can justify the existence of government, but to redress the centuries of unspeakable privations by striving to eliminate poverty, literacy, homelessness, and disease. With confidence, we are asserting that the individual rights and national self-determination of South African people shall not be inhibited, but reinforced by the collective rights of communities, close quote. Honorable members, leadership of the provincial government, esteemed guests, and many representatives of the multitudes of communities, it is true that our country is confronted with many challenges, and as a democratically elected leadership, we dare not fail, because millions of South Africans are expecting practical solutions to these complex matters. In those words, it is my honor and privilege to declare this occasion officially open. I thank you. Before I address the question raised by Councillor Majeke, I would like to first apologize for the executive mayor who was confronted by an emergency this morning. She won't be presenting the keynote address herself. She has assigned a member of the MMC who will do that in her behalf, as well as the acting executive mayor. There are a few councillors who made apologies. I won't get to that. Let me address the issue that Councillor Majeke raised. This is a culmination of the IDP process that was called by the executive mayor to finalize the IDP process that we have been engaged in for a number of months now. We went to all regions of the metro as councillors. We spoke to the people of these regions of Buffalo City, 3 of them. And we clustered some of those who are bigger than others. And we decided, as you know, that the final process of IDP, as well as getting from these people the views before we go to the formal council to endorse the budget. Hence, in the council, in the meeting here, in the open day, we invited a lot of people. The speaker, as a team, that invited political parties, leaders of political parties, that invited a number of other people outside political parties. And people that you see here were invited as leaders of political parties, including political parties of the DA, the EFF, and all the parties that are sitting in council. So that is the response, honorable member, that I'll give you, as this is the final round of getting the views from the people. If there are other issues that you are not satisfied with, you know what to do. This is a gathering of citizens of this metro. But thank you for that question. We'll now go. There is a hand. There, Councillor Hlegiso. Councillor Hlegiso is the leader of EFF, and there's a councillor in Buffalo City. Over to you, Councillor Hlegiso. Roving mic, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I believe that the rules of the Council are not suspended. Therefore, I'm rising on a point of order, Rule 37. The SMS, Honorable Speaker, that you were telling us before you opened the meeting, you were correct. As we were coming in here, Honorable Speaker, we were confronted by people who were protesting outside, complaining about one of our own here inside in this house, a councillor that is exploiting poor people, especially black people. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on a point of order to say we want this meeting, Uba Ike Meganini, Honorable Speaker, Ube Uyosabela Ababantu Bakalayo Papa. Those are black people who are working every day, Honorable Speaker, and they get paid nothing. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on the point of order, Rule 37, grave disorder, that the leadership of the institution must go and listen to those poor people who are crying outside. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That is noted. Can I now call I think the opening remarks done?
Sorry, Speaker. So you must allow us to second that so that we can see whether there is because we're at the council. When someone proposes, I'm rising to second councillor.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you very much.
I said the matter is noted. Can I now allow the city manager to come up here? As we are listening to the item, the city manager was supposed to be seated with me. Can I again call all mayoral committee members to come up to the stage?
Honourable Speaker, I have the honour today to present on behalf of the Executive Mayor the final draft revised IDP for 2023-2024. And the purpose of the presentation is to present matters raised by community members during the IDP Budget Roadshow ward meetings that were convened throughout the city from the 16th of April to the 5th of May 2023, and to report on the planning process followed to review the 5-year IDP for 2023-2024 and develop the 2023-2024 MTREF. Honourable Speaker, I think one of the things that you did mention was the legislative background. And I'm not going to go into the legislative background, but just to say that, in fact, a municipality must encourage and create conditions for the local community to participate in the affairs of the municipality, including in the preparation, implementation, and review of its integrated development plan. In accordance with Section 22 of the Municipal Finance Management Act, immediately after an annual budget is tabled in the Municipal Council, the accounting officer of the municipality must make public the annual budget and invite the local community to submit representations in connection with the budget. Honourable Speaker, let me start with the report backs from when the IDP and Budget Roadshows that were held from the 16th of April to the 10th of May. They were held in the coastal rural areas, Ncitha village, which were on the 16th of April, whereby wards 31, 32 and 33 were engaged. Inland at Congo Stadium on the 19th of April, whereby wards 25, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 43, 44, 45, 49 were engaged. We then had a coastal urban session at Ncitha Stadium on the 21st of April, whereby the coastal wards from Ward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19, 27, 28, 29, 46, 47 and 50 were consulted. From Midland at Ncitha on the 5th of May, the wards that were consulted were Ward 11, 12, 14, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 30, 42, 48. And finally, on the 10th of May, we had a business leaders breakfast, and that was held at the East London Golf Course. The cross-cutting matters that we have, communities and stakeholders have made ample use of the opportunity to reflect their needs in respect of government services delivered across spheres. Example, schools, clinics, police stations and other issues that may be regarded as cutting across more than one government entity and sphere. Buffalo City Metro fully embraces the concept of joint intergovernmental planning as guided by the district development model adopted by Cabinet in 2019. Against this backdrop, we fully participate in the national and provincial IGR structures and create numerous platforms through our planning processes to plan jointly with all government entities and that operate in our space. The following cross-cutting matters are what I will now mention. Obviously, we know that Buffalo City is a boxing metro. We embrace sport and boxing, and from Ward 31, the installation of a boxing ring within a community hall was presented. Access road, there was no road leading to the grazing lands next to Kiwani, and a request was made for an access road to be constructed, and that was Ward 32. In Ward 34, rectification of houses. Ward 24, destitute houses. In Ward 39, we're looking at dams, the Maiden Dam, and of course in Ward 17, there are two dams that require to be closed due to the infestation of mosquitoes. Other cross-cutting matters are in Ward 24, a mobile police station is requested. Ward 10, a police station, satellite police station, and as the main one is at Lloyd. If we go to Ward 31, they also requested a satellite police station. There's only 2 police stations servicing the area of Kids Beach and Fleet Street, and yet crime is a challenge. On Ward 32, sport development. We also looked at the youth development in Ward 31, the NYDA to assist in rural areas. I think, as you know, the Metro is coming closer to the NYDA and are looking to sign an MOU with regards to our collaboration. Ward 35 is employment, deforest to create jobs, and which were previously used by soldiers. They are developed the ward by creating employment. The same as Ward 38, the NYDA has been requested to look at a program there. In job creation, in Ward 6, provision of employment opportunities for youth who had no educational qualifications. Ward 14 looked at youth empowerment, and Ward 21 looking at SMMEs. Again, we are looking at cross-cutting matters, and that is Ward 41, a library request, even if it is a mini library, and that is what we will be taking forward. Ward 49, information centre, library. Ward 5, library. Ward 5, scenery park side of that, we're looking at a library. So these are all the cross-cutting issues where that we will be interacting with provincial and national government. Going back to Ward 45, the youth centre. 49, we are also looking to work with youth. They should be provided with learnerships, and further requested that a youth centre be built. In Ward 2, we're looking again at youth development. And again in Ward 2, the concern regarding sexual abuse of young girls and young boys who were recruited to sell drugs. I think we know that is a major problem in all our wards. And that is, we would be interacting with social welfare and looking at social workers. The residents requested that social workers be deployed to communities for easy access. I think that is a very important aspect. On Ward 8, we are looking at the same for social welfare to increase their social workers, as well as Ward 13, social workers to be moved into those areas. In fact, Ward 15, Ward 2, Ward 8, and 15, we have that same theme running through the wards where our youths are being introduced to drugs, and some of them are being used to commit crime. When it comes to Ward 31, we looked again at school and scholar transport, which we will be interacting with the Department of Education. In 33, we are looking at disaster damaged school, which is at Vabaza, which we are still trying to, and that is Jim Vabaza High School. We're looking at Ward 44, Sweet Waters, again looking at the school issues, and Ward 45 as well as 24 and 23. We're looking at learnerships in Ward 27, and in Ward 11, skills development, Ward 23, skills development. So those are all the cross-cutting issues. We are looking at developing our youth and looking at the social areas. We'll also be interacting with the Department of Health, because as you know, clinics are a competency of the provincial government. However, we are very close to that through the District Health Council. Councillor Clara Moroleng Mkiso is the chairperson of the District Health Council and will be taking all these issues. So all the wards that we have here mentioned in our cross-cutting issues, they have all requested clinics, schools, and we're looking at Ward 31, 45, 3, 28, 17, 24, 26, 30, 42, 48, 31, and 3. Again, coming across to the agriculture. We are a rural metro. I think agriculture is a very important aspect and one that we should be moving closer to. We are looking into rural development plan in Ward 31. In Ward 31, the land transfer from Bongweni to Ncitha. We are looking at Ward 31 for fencing. So in all our rural wards, we will be engaging in looking at dipping tanks, fencing of fields, looking at the development of the gum tree forest. and looking at land to build houses. And of course, once again, in Nompumelelo, phase 2, looking at land for the expansion of phase of Nompumelelo. Again, we are very looking at Ward 50, Ward 17, Ward 22, 42, 43, 15 and 50. Again, looking at the dipping tanks land and these are all the requests that came from the wards. Buffalo City Metro has made good progress with implementing the 5-year IDP and are planning on accelerating the pace of service delivery. These areas that I have presented will present is a summary of key issues raised by communities during the recent IDP and Budget Roadshow. Also, to provide clarity on the interventions that are being implemented and budgetary constraints, not budgetary commitments that we have undertaken. The top 5 issues, which I think is very important, which I think we are presenting here, as an analysis of the Maryland Bezos raised, is the electrification of informal settlements, housing opportunities, in-migration of people from rural areas increases the demand for housing opportunities and shelter. Roads, resurfacing and maintenance. I do know the Mayor has instructed with regards to that we are looking at the potholes. Construction of new community halls, upgrading of sports fields. I have passed through all the areas in our wards. We are looking at, the city has since embarked on the electrification of informal settlements, which contribute to high losses through the illegal connections that are all over the city urban space. To date, the city has electrified more than 13,000 informal dwellings in an attempt to reduce the level of losses caused by illegal connections. The city has resolved to relocate all informal settlements located in undeveloped land which are still contributing to these losses due to illegal connections. The city has also resolved to stop invasion of developable land indiscriminately without proper processes and guidance by authorities as it leads to the unnecessary demand for services. A program to provide site and service stands whilst the destitute are awaiting delivery of houses has been agreed to and will be rolled out in the next 5 years term of the current council. The city has a coverage of 95% on sanitation and 98% on water in its area of jurisdiction. The backlog is mainly in rural areas where there has been additional villages that were incorporated in 2016 with the newly demarcated boundaries of the metro, incorporating areas from ADM, Amatrola District Municipality. The condition of roads is largely fair to poor due to high levels of deferred maintenance due to limited maintenance budget, which is below the recommended threshold. Electricity has no backlog except for the informal settlements, which are derived from land invasion and are a subject of further scrutiny and human settlement planning. The city has a backlog eradication program for both water and sanitation, which is budgeted for in the MTREF 2023-24 to 2025-26 MTREF. The city funding sources are overstretched in helping the city eradicate all backlogs within the term, and it seems it will take long to do so if no additional financial sources are exploited in adding to the current grants and subsidies, of which the Executive Mayor has been speaking to national government, provincial government and national treasury. Progress with addressing backlogs again. the city has major constraints in the inland urban core in both bulk water and sanitation infrastructure, and this has a negative effect on future development of the area. Further investment is necessary to ensure that there is capacity to support growth of the region and increase the coverage from 95% of sanitation to upper levels. More investment is needed on eradicating deferred maintenance through the recapitalization program with adequate funding. Completion of projects such as this Relitha Regional Bulk Sewer Scheme is hence crucial to ensure adequate sewerage capacity for 2030 visions. The need for a new water treatment and bulk storage capacity in the inland region is rapidly putting pressure on both internal and external resources to be galvanized in support of the Kai Road Regional Water Scheme, which would address the current constraints in the region, both in urban and rural areas of 8%. The 2023-2024 MTREF budget. The city is proposing a total budget of 10.6 billion, consisting of the operating expenditure budget of 9.4 billion and the capital budget of 1.2 billion for the 2023-24 budget year. This budget increases to 11.2 billion in the 24-25 financial year, made up of 10.1 billion for operating expenditure budget and 1.6 billion for capital budget. It further increases to 12.1 billion in 2025-26 financial year, made up of 10.9 billion for operating and for 1.1 billion for capital budget.
The entirety of Buffalo City staff, they won't raise issues to the platform because it is the platform for other members of the society to raise. I think I must also say that among us here we have, this is very important, we have Buffalo City Sports ambassadors, ambassadors, sports ambassadors, the former world champs, Vuyani Bungu, and welcome Ncitha. You will recall that they have been working with municipality for a number of years now, but the mayor has decided to integrate them in sports department, Councillor Graham, and they will be ambassadors. They will also be able to look around Buffalo City because we have a number of champions who are out there, former champions who are out there. So they will interact with those people, but a mayor will give them the strict or a detailed instruction as to what they must do. They have been here, I think, from 2016, Champ? From 2016? From 2016, and they were located in two departments. In the Department of Human Settlements and the Department of the MPEC department. And unfortunately, there were messengers in those departments. Now, we cannot have champions who are at that level. There will be ambassadors and they will be given a responsibility to at least ensure that youth in the province, in the region, meaning Buffalo City, from schools and everywhere. They will deal with that youth there. The acting executive mayor didn't only table the issues that were raised, but the responses that the mayor communicated to communities. And when the mayor talks of building a wall in a ward, in a particular ward, she gave citizens time frames as to when that wall will be built. And most of them will be in the 2023-2024 financial year. I think that Councillor May needs to be very clear. When the mayor was responding in terms of dipping tanks, as well as roads, bridges, she gave the time frame. From the 1st of July 2023, that will be done, and all of that. It's not an open-ended kind of program. In terms of sporting fields, you recall that we have Absa Stadium, Jan Smart Stadium, Cesar Dugashe Stadium. The mayor, in responding to the cries of those who are in sporting bodies, undertook to talk to the people who were given those stadiums, negotiate with them, so that those stadiums can go back to the people of Buffalo City. But in the meantime, they will not charge exorbitant charges when teams play. It will be on the basis of the Buffalo City charges, so manageable charges. In terms of the IGR matters, I think Councillor May did all. The other thing that is so exciting that Councillor May did, I'm just recapping, is building of the swimming pool. First of all, finishing the swimming pool of NU2, which is a Mdantsane swimming pool. Not only swimming NU2, but the whole of Mdantsane will benefit. And I think, Mr. Squares, it was said in this financial year, which is 23-24, that swimming pool will be done. As well as the first of its kind in Dungan Village. In Ward 8, there will be a swimming pool that will be started in this financial year of 2023-2024. The IGR matters that Councillor May was raising are related to the roads. You recall, citizens, that Buffalo Pass Ayambeki, and it's a provincial road. So, in terms of IGR-related matters, that road is a priority because it offloads traffic from Free Street to the airport and all of that. So that road, the mayor is engaging the provincial department and other roads that are important. Remember the road from Zwelicha to the airport, very bad, and that road belongs to the province. Abahlali, they don't see the province because those roads are within Buffalo City. And if you say it's a provincial road, you're not saying anything to them. The issues of incorrect billing, councillors, I think the mayor undertook to fix that by end of June. So that beginning from now, it may be within this month or next month, but the issue of billing will be sorted as soon as possible because it's a cry of Buffalo City citizens. Councillor May did talk about the informal settlements electrification. Please that electrification will be done in areas where informal settlements is in a correct place. Those who are in the river, it's going to be difficult for us to go there. But I think the citizens will be engaged, but informal settlements will be electrified.
We have challenges as nazo. One, it's accountability. Two, it's a division.
Accountability of?
Accountability ka councillor nesigaba sakhe.
Right.
I-division kuthi sonke siyi-community yala ward. Three, i-decision making. Masiye ku-accountability. Ngoke-accountability, xa ungumuntu wonyuliwe, you account ku-constituency yakho. But the challenge is one.
You have 3 minutes,
Okay. Zange sibe nayo into ekuthiwa yi-meeting ever since wabakhona. The only meeting isaba nayo ile eyidibanisele ne-1 million. Ibe yi-meeting eyayidibaniselene kunye ne-decision eyathathwayo ekhansileni lokubana uvuvu makaye kuSpoyana makabe phaya intervene. I-decision making yenziwa kukonekthile kubuye sixelele into okubana we have decided this. Ithi ke ngoku into abantu izolo siyasahlala intlanganiso. They said,
and that's your last point.
Yeah. They said, if kwenzekile into kokubana ingalungi into yakwa 12, they are not going to vote next year. Okugqibela ithi into njengoba singazuvota kulo nyaka uzayo ayilungiswa lento asizovota sizawuhlala phansi. Some of us will lead i-campaign yokubana kungavotwa ingalungiswanga uward 12.
Thank you very much, Costa. Number two.
Thank you. Honorable Acting Executive Mayor and Speaker.
Sorry, ma'am.
Igama lam ndinguzanelizwe.
Zanelizwe.
Chalman and Yombo's.
I suspect pa umunyana kata Chalman wa mzulwana. Okay. All right, number two.
I am Leslie Ann Foster from BCMM Women's Rights International. We represent all wards of our metro on the issue of violence against women. We would like to thank the Acting Executive Mayor, you, Speaker of the House, and all the councillors for allowing the community to make inputs into the plans of the metro. However, it is my view and our view that there's one missing pillar, and that is the pillar of safety. Nothing else in the metro will work unless we have a very clear and concise community safety strategy, which did not come out in the discussions that we had. We've heard ad hoc reports on what communities have said. We are very concerned about the fact that we run around third in the country on issues of violence against women, particularly in the East London area, and that is why the safety strategy is so important to us. We would like to re-look at the Safer Cities model, which has worked very well in KwaZulu-Natal, and we want to suggest that we strengthen that in the special programs of the Mayor's office. We also want to thank the Women's Caucus for the work that they are doing, particularly around cleanup of the metro, and we ask that this be intensified together with the communities that you are serving. We want to have a concise and a report on the levels of gender-based violence from the Metro itself, and we want to understand the tracking system. We are part of President Ramaphosa's Gender-Based Violence Committee in his private office. We have not heard about the integration of the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence into the Metro's plans, which involves as well the training of all councillors and Metro police and other stakeholders who are responding to gender-based violence. We need an improvement in the support of shelters, and we also need sustainable interventions in regard to these shelters, both budgeted, monitored and reported on. And that is what we want to see, is that comprehensive state strategy on safety, including gender-based violence, and an integration of the National Strategic Plan on gender-based violence and femicide. We cannot continue to be a metro with such high levels. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 4.
But because it is in the Yola, the prefect, so to speak, military association, I never was a woman, Ben we told me on the association. And so if you got to be flavor, what was always corner with military veterans. Okay.
Esawulelo nawe African Transformation Movement. Ngibulele kakhulu speaker, ngibulise na uCouncillor May, neCouncillor zonke nabahlali baseBuffalo City. Umbuzo wabo oqala ukhawuleze wawungena speaker, ngibulele kakhulu about time frames, because usinike a very comprehensive report uCouncillor May about time frames and commitments. What's the time frames and commitments? Because there's lacking via into how. Are you going to outsource the nuclear tender system, or from within you do have a capacity? You're good to deliver those promises. And also, a budget for Wongalong 7 over Abuzu tariffs now to cover Wongalong 7 because of
Nagelungu ama sendwa ihlala kwa Debuwan Sunny South Africa. Eyona nto ndizoyiphakamisa apha, ndizophakamisa indima ye-clinic kwelaa cala lethu asinazo, ngoba kaloku sihlala eFedri. Ii-clinic zise-village 1 nasephuko eKhambashi. So siyasokola ke kunebhense nekliniki kwelaa cala. Umzekelo mna ndine-youth development center endiyenzayo phayana. So kuloo nto iyonke siye ndingene ku-door to door. Kunabantwana ke endawafumanisa phayana uba abanee-problems abadifoltileyo kwii-treatment zabo because of ikliniki zikude, abakwazi ukuya ekliniki. So iye yakhungu ke loo nto leyo, funeke kwathina bantu ke bangena u-door to door ibe sithi abathatha ixanduva sibayele ngokwethu ezikliniki ze bakwazi uba bangadefolti kwi-treatment yabo, because akumnandanga ubona umntana okanye udadewethu esifa sikhona. Kuphinde eyona nto ndiza nayo i-development kwelaa cala lethu aziyi. Ndiyacinga uba i-development ithe izibe khona yaqalwa ndim. Ndine-development phayana endiyenzayo yabantwana. Ndinabantwana bayi-20 endinabo phayana senza igadi. Sinabantwana siyajayivisa, siyaxhentsisa, siyafundisa, siyaqala ii-classes phayana. Yonke le nto endiyenzayo ndiyenza endlini. Asinayo iholo. Zikhona iifektri phayana zakudala awusenza kuzo iitumata. So liholo eliyabo siye soyike ukwenzela i-homework kwesifuleti yondenzeka afternoon, siye soyike ke ngoku because kaloku umntana ungacinga ubhotile, kanti umntana kabhotkanga ukwalapha kula magumbi. Kanti umntana uthathwe woreyitshwa okanye ukhwele phezulu zindonga wonzakala.
Number 7.
Sebenza kwaMasimakela Women's Rights International. I want to talk about only 2 things. The issue of Tutuzela Care Center in the area of Buffalo City. the one that is at Cecilia Makhiwane Hospital, is working from 8 to 4:30, which is supposed to be working from 8:24. Because that is the problem that we need to look at. Okwesibini, i-issue endingayibhanga i-issue ye-LGBTQIA+. Again, we do have high rate of violence against them. On those words, let me give other people the opportunity.
Thank you.
Firstly, my question is the municipality,
Le mic I got right there.
does the municipality have any plans in the event of grid failure or even very high load shedding stages to ensure that sewage is pumped and water is pumped? Because in the event of these pumps failing, there's going to be sewage in the streets and disease like cholera will be rampant and there will be chaos in there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mamele, please.
Part of the Khoisan and NAFCO. And I just want to bring to your attention, I'm from Ward 8, Buffalo Flats. I want to know about the road that goes to Cove Rock that has not been fixed for many years and a breach has washed away. This is the heritage site of the Xhosa people and the Khoisan. It's a big place that never has been taken. And the problem we've had that we've visited that area, we have the white farmers actually claiming the road to be theirs. And I've had 20 children that I worked with showing them the heritage sites of the Khoisan and the Xhosa people around the Eastern Cape, with Eastern Cape parks and tourism. And they all got certificates, but they did not even know the heritage sites that are within the Buffalo City. And a lot of the people don't even know those sites. And I would really like that area to be sorted out for us because it's got a lot of history behind it, Cove Rock. Thank you very much. That's all I wanted to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 2. Number 2. Number 2.
Sinengxaki thina lapha ngase-beach front abelwane ezakha-washers phayana. Isicelo sam kungoba abanawukhangelelwa indawo abanothi basebenzele kuyo na aba bantu baphayana, because laa ndawo bahlamba kuyo imoto. Okokuqala kumoshakala indlela leya, qhelekile indlela imbi. Okwesibini akakho nto bayibhatalayo ngalaa msebenzi bawuzayo, because imali abayifumanayo bayininzi, because isapoti bayifumana kwalapha kuthi singabasebenzi bahlala ngokuhlamba ezamoto. Okwesibini apha ekwini sicela la mahlathi apha ngase-Clutton Terrace ayingozi kakhulu because zonke izikrelemnqa ezisuka komdantsane ziphunzana zibalekela kula mahlathi. Sishiyeke thina apha ekwini
Hold on. It is telling us what was in now. Otherwise, it's our safe one should. I said, well done. If I say well done. ndingalethwa kwinto apha bendiyithethile. Andivanga mna ngoba usebenza apha kwamasipala uchola inkukhu. Andithi kusitsho? You are not supposed to speak. Xa umsebenzi usebenza apha uqeshwa ngumasipala, isn't it? Akaqeshwa ngumasipala. Qeshwa ngubani? Yantoni? BCMTv kaloku ngumasipala. Qala phantsi sisi. Ndiyacela ke umuntu okwiiprojekthi zo-BCMTv mhlawumbi nantsi into engacacanga. Nantsi into engacacanga bahlali. I-BCMTv i-Buffalo City Metro Development Agent. So i-agency ye-Buffalo City. Mhlawumbi sibengayithani loo ndawo. Masiye ku-number 3.
Mandibulise Speaker, Program Director. Ndibulise kwisikhokelo se-Buffalo City nazo zonke iinkokheli zomhlaba. I come from an organization called Officers Scotland, an organization that has 40 years isilwana ne-issues of social justice. Ndifuna ukuqala ndipapashe lwethi Speaker, kunephulo besilenza apha elijonge iziqiki nococeko le-toilets namanzi njalo njalo. Elophulo besikulo sisathe qha because we want to engage the city on the issues that have been raised and even through its submissions last year. So we want to follow up on that. But there are 3 things I want to mention today. We do applaud Buffalo City for the 95% in sanitation and 98% in water, but the issue number 1 is maintenance. It's a serious issue and we want to hear more on the budget of maintenance of toilets and taps in informal settlements. Number 2, fault reporting systems are seven. Or councillor abafuna ukuqalela into bayo uphukile itoilet ngoku sicela uba mayizolungiswa. Yingxaki enkulu ke leyo. So no phone call center is an issue. So fault reporting system, something needs to be done. Ngoba ayikwazi kaloku sithi siqhayise ngo-95% or 98% but abantu xa zonakela azikwazi ukuthi zihoye. Eyesithathu yokugqibela sikwiphulo nationally mobilizer NGOs in the national norms and standards in water and sanitation. There was a draft finalized nationally department. Buffalo City because even the metro itself, it does not have norms and standards for providing water and sanitation in formal settlements. But we've made that a national campaign and we want to encourage the city to partner with us because it will also benefit abantu bemetro.
Orlando,
all protocol observed. Allow me, Speaker, to quote a phrase from Dr. W. Gusani when he said, "Let me come on apology." Now, on behalf of Condoleezza, we greet all esteemed leadership, present as well as the Council, Mayor, Committee, Council, political leaders, etc. We thank you, the Speaker, for the invite, and as Condoleezza, and we place your support in the endeavors in moving forward. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Condoleezza.
Speaker, Tibulise kwani bonke abasemndeni. Bishop David ongusihlalo we-Buffalo City Moral Regeneration Movement. Ndifuna ke ndikhangele ndive kuthethwa ngee-sites zeenkonzo. Injawujoku zinqabe kakhulu ukwazikhona. Kukho nezi zindlu ke zisanda zakwakhiwa ezi areas, i-IDP houses. ingaba umasipala wethu unayo na injongo njengoko nisisebenzisa kakhulu kwimixhamsholo yenu siyipati yenu nikanasiqwalasela inkonzo uba azinazakhiwo instead kwanda ezinye indawo endingafuna ukuzibiza kwandinoyika zona kuba ngasa ziyamashonuma but akuthethwa nongencawo anisilimelanga mhlawumbi mhlawumbi ngaphambili nisikhumbula kafuneka sivulile siphinde sivale umsebenzi wethu lowo enkosi kakhulu.
Ngosi Bishop, izama
Afurwa
kumkane mahahada lele
Somlomo isuka phaya kuwumkani bakwethu siseka okokuqala sifuna ukubasibulele enkonga umasipala alakhileyo lokuba sithulule iingingane zethu malunga nophuculo kwentlalo yabantwini. Sifuna uyibeka ithathe okwekade esikhungweni into yokuba siyavuya thina sikumkani uMahahada ihlobo esizama ngalo singumasipala nathi ukusebenzisana kakuhle. Siyayincoma kakhulu loo nto. Esifuna loo nto ibe ngumphumela wee-councillors zikamasipala neenkosi neenkosana. Cela ke kuthulwe Somlomo.
ukufota ukhoyo phaa ukwezingcono baniyanditshola nithule konke tshitshilili kukho umndumzelo othile naphaa ngasemva xa kuthetha indlu yekumkani yamaRharhabe sifanele sithule xa besizazi izinto. Qhubeka Klaas.
Mhlawumbi Somlomo makhe ndiyithethe le nto ngesilungu ndithi the character of a leader is defined by his or her behavior. Abantu abalapha basuka kumaqonga bathi apha bakhokele kodwa esinye izimilo aziyingqini lo. Siyacela ke apha kumasipala sibubumbane makhe iqiniswe intsebenziswano phakathi kwaceba neenkosi neenkosana ezilalini ngoba injongo inye ukuphucula intlalo yabantu bakokwenu ukuze sihlale kakuhle senze le nto ibithethwa umfundisi apha esithi masibuve ngoku ububungane bukaThixo. Okunye okulandelayo siyacela ke ijonge indlela utywala obuthengiswa ngayo amaxesha yokutsho. Noko madoda isipontshi masingavulwa busuku nemini. Iifayili masibe nexesha lokuvulwa njengoba umthetho usithi. Iifayili masibe nexesha lokuvalwa ukwenzela ukuba sizoba nethuba lokuphungula umqhele kungade kuse sisele umqhele. Okokugqibela Somlomo siyafuna into yokokuba ezi nkosi zenziwe zahlutshwa ngumthetho weli lizwe zokuba sibembalwa apha kumasipala. Loo nto inefuthe elingelihle
kwihlobo enixoxa ngalo izinto ezehla ubukhulu becala abantu bethu. Ngoba abo bantu benza umthetho bacinga bafana basilawula okwabelungu, bacutha ingosi abakumasipala bacinga basishiyeke ezimbili zintathu. Loo nto ibangele into yokokuba kungabikho mntu bakukwipixwana lokudumzela phakathi kwe-political parties nabantu abakwazi ukuthi noko madoda nololo hlobo. Sicela ke ndijonge loo nto. Xa ndizawuhlala phantsi ke somlomo, siyacela kulo meya ufika ke ngelishwa ke akekho apha, khe sikhangele usuku lokuba khe niye phaa komkhulu waseSuze City Hall nje ukwizibane, khe kubekho usuku nonke umeya noSpeaker nee-members ze-Electoral Committee khe ziye phaa komkhulu, khe sibonisane sihleli phantsi indlela eyiyo esinokuthi sisebenzisane ngayo, ngoba thina sinalo uluvo lwento yokokuba ninganalo igxathu elibonakalayo ukuba sinokuba nabanye benu abahlalayo kwizigxeba zethu zemithetho esiyenzayo. Nkosi mhlawumbi phambili.
Nkosi sibambe.
Nomonde uzana hlala kwa-12 owani. Ngiyabulisa nje namhlanje uSpika uWokokhoyo angaphakathi. Kamnandi sishaya uSpika ekhona. Sinengxaki eninzi kwa-12. Akho ndawo singabhalelanga kuyo kwa-12. Kodwa sifumanile singabahlali bapha kwa-12 asinalo thina ilungelo lozifumana izinto ezifika ngokwa-12. Iimeeting zakwa-12 ngena kanda ukuthi abahlala kuyo ngobusuku, yonke into bayigqibe kodwa bayigqiba ngayo ingazange bazale. Ngoku sibona thina
Asimamele kaloku bahlali. Serious lo.
engasihoyanga kuba siqale ukubhala umasipala kulo nyaka uphele waphela asifumani ncebo. Side sabheke etheni sayotshisa, kwakhona umasipala ngathi uyanyakaza kuba sitshisitha. Nalapho sizibona into umasipala usisusa nje etheni ngokuba abantu abayi-60 babangene bantu ababayi-60 kwezi project bengekapeyi nangoku nyanga yesibili bayasebenza abapeyi. Liyatshona ke ngokilanga masipala. Kwinyanga ezizayo ndizabe ndifuna ukwenza i-door-to-door ewa-12. Anizongena ewa-12 ingalunganga le nto yakwa-12. Anizongena. Niza kuthi bafuneka sivotile sakukuvota nisiflathele. Inkosi.
Okay, Nkosi. Koshia?
Khoj.
Canaan
Center. Yindawo yabantwana abaneselected hearts, abantwana aba-trust-funded. Silapha nje sizonetha ifama semsebenzini asikho semsebenzini. Asamkele emsebenzini. Sinikwa imali phashana. Umzekelo kule nyanga sinikwe i-400 rand. Wathi umqeshi wethu masinekhe i-plan, otherwise yena akazovenza imali ngoba imali yafuna. Imali uthini siyabuza imali zefees uzitheni, uthi wenze into ezibalulekileyo ngefees, ngemali yefees. So uyawukhabone thina saphila sifumane nge-31st kaMeyi. Sihleli ke ngokwapha phantsi uthi xa angasiniki ilongi yoba masikhwele siphinde siphangele. Uba usebenzisa i-76 rand ngosuku uza kunika i-76 rand ngosuku.
then uphinde ubuye uzophangela. Uthi xa uzawunika le loan imali ezawuphinde itsalwe xa kuthe kwangena loo mali yakho. Uthi uba uphangelanga yakho consequences. Iphinde ibe ngumnqa le nto because le ndawo is run by board members. One of the board members saba nethemba because kwi-DA council into yoba ngumntu karhulumente lona phakathi ozasumela kurhulumente. We know your unemployment rate is too high, but asitanga siswini silambe kakhulu. Sifuna le-explode. Those workers that have been there abangokwelekiwe have been in there since Friday last week. Basebenza day, night, abatshayisi because bebizukupeyusoka ukulusa umsebenzi wabo. We have no bonuses. I-bonuses was 1,000 rand. Umuntu owamkela 3,600 ne-4,200 rand ngenyanga uzawunika 1,000 rand. Yaphelisa into ye-bonus. Asinamabisa konke sinalo thina. Asina-provident fund. Wathi uzasitshela because sibaninzi. Ebaninzi likweli. Uthi abantwana bane-cerebral palsy makagcinwe umuntu oyi-1. Manje wabantwana 27-year-old ezingaphezulu nalapha kum. You are expected uthathe lo mntana uhambe umtshitshi lakeni uphinde umtyise. Akanabazali akanantoni. Uzawusebenzela na-22 rand yakho, 3 rand yakho. Ngoku kuphinde ikhathi challenge yakho kuthiwa make a plan to come back apha emsebenzini okanye uzawugxothwa. Sivele imali yethu apha. We make a plan akusekho nto esikoleka imali kodwa sisebenza nabantwana abanemali. Imali ziphi? Sibona imoto ze-DA zihamba zingena sihophinga into yoba uzawuba nomnembeza because ngumntu karhulumente. Likhasi eli libaleka.
Ufuna ukongeza noma? Unika imali ongeza? Imali kahlale, just handing it. Same place.
Kuba u-day, kuba u-night. Xa ungena u-night ufika ngofo, utshayisa ngo-8 kusasa. Uzawufika unabantwana abahlanu, funeka ubahlale, funeka ubatyise. Uvuke ubalungiselele baye esikolweni kusasa. Laa ndawo iranwa ziibhodi. Ba-6 bona bezibhodi members. Ndisoze uzibone nozibone esifuna uzibona. Sidicayidile uhlala phansi ngoFebruwari, wafika uno we-DA, ukwi-councillor ye-DA, wathi yena xa ephendula kumaneja, le nto uyenzayo ayivumelekanga uba ungabamkelisi abasebenzi. Mna eziba uligqwetha phofu yena. So wathi umthetho uba ungasivumeli, ndicela uba bahlale phantsi. Sihlelile phantsi, but iyaqhubekeka into yobana angasimkelisi. Umane sithi imali yethu. Le nto iqale last year from November. Okokobe imali sifinishela imali yethu. Sozuzibone ke sibone members zizana le-10%. Sibonakala xa kumnandi xa kukubi yazibonakala. Ise-Sterling. Ebhakasi enethiwa sebehiyo khona ibhekeni phaya ebehiyo. Sizamile ukuya kupeya kwenye igame siyocela uncedo kulapha emva kwethu.
Isebhakasi Sterling.
Ebhakasi.
Okay.
Sizamile ukuya kwenye igame sacela uncedo safika engekho. Unkosikazi wami uzamile wasinika inamba yomuntu oselebha. Sizamile ukumfowunela futhi naye wasixelela siye kwa-Labour siye kwasisiye akho ndawo singakhange siye kuyo but kusenzakalo iyini iqhubekekayo.
Okay. Lo bhuti ebeyumamela apha uzawuthatha iinamba zenu aba baseCanaan. I think those were the last speakers. Ebethetha into enye. Bazawukhumbula abantu bakwa-Ward 12 ngobe siphaya sisadukashe. Bekune-placards pha. Umeya wazikhomitha ukuba uzawuya very soon kwa-Ward 12 ayomamela and try to intervene in addition to what Councillor Vuyani was doing kwa-Ward 12. Councillor Vuyani is a councillor at Buffalo City, is a PR councillor. umasipala has a right to send her to reinforce the council prior Ward 12. So there is that meeting as our corner soon Ward 12. Now, kune petitions as means yes mama from 2022. Zathunyelwa ku-councillor waresponda u-councillor. Laa nto ka-councillor Vuyani ukudeploya phaa was an outcome of a meeting esasihleli e-City Hall ukhona. Savana ukuba kule problem ikhoyo, we need an additional assistance from a councillor. Sathumela uSibuyana savana nani ngaloo nto. Now, phaya estadium eMdantsane, uMayor promised uba uza kuya, and I said, sine agreement. First of all, let me put it this way. It demands yala team ukhona kuyo mama isithi uCouncillor Makehle because of his Johannesburg. And the response was that the councillors are of political parties. Ukuba i-political party yakhe uCouncillor Phethane ithatha i-decision echoyo, it's up to them. Now, i-ward councillor for ukuba remove ngabahlali, and I explained, uba nenza i-petition okomthetho yabantu bonke abahlali wathi nimithe i-criteria, and then you can, councillor okomthetho can be removed. Isicebiso of course ke nokuchaza umthetho uthini loo nto. Now, phaya esisadukasha, I said kukho le process ihamba incediswa nguCouncillor Vuyani to assist laa nto kaWard 12. So uMayor uzawuya kaWard 12, but uzawufumana i-report kuCouncillor Vuyani and myself, because sivumelene ngaloo nto. Xa ndiphuma pha ndithethe kuwe le nto wena Chief. Xa ndiphuma phaya ukhona ababekhona, usisi wayenxibe kunqwazi uyela, khona ukuze sithi mabangathethi because bakune-commotion. Xa ndisehla isteps ndingaka mos neminyaka emine ezigqithi. Xa ndisehla isteps chaw, ndifika lo sisi undijongile, umile undijongile, ndikubuza uba yintoni sisi wandijonga ngako? Sasijongana because asoze sijongana. Nantsi into important, ndikubuza uba yintoni sisi wawakhupha kum amehlo? Wathi kum, hayi ndijongele uba awunanyani. Utsho kum ngumntana ireflector enye into kuye kwidiscipline yakhe. Loo nto tatayi ke ndiyabulela ndahamba. Kodwa I explained kuye before ndihambe uba sihleli nabantu bakwaWard 12 savumelana ngeprocess le wawukhona kuyo mama yokuba sawuthumela uSibuyana, ilethi athi ke andinanyani kuyo. Ukhona phaa kweza petitions, and usayinile, wayisayina nepata esuka kuyo. ndifuna ukudilishana laa nto ke so that umeya kunye nathi noCouncillor Vuyani sizawuya kowa-12. Umeya cannot just get there engafumananga i-briefing kuthi because sithi abantu abadilishana laa nto. I was raising the matter precisely because of that. That's what 12. Ezinye nezinye, the accountability and all that, sabdila naso pa over 12. Savannah Chalman? Chalman is the Mars Datak. He was on Robben Island for the African National Congress. Well-disciplined, seasoned old man is no longer here with us now. That's the first thing, and the second thing, African Guapla Military Veterans Association. I can't design 30 names because siyaqala Valando, Mnake, Umnyango we-petitions, Komaspala, the office speaker. I call it the front door. But we are going now, ungena back door. So, ndiyafuna uyimamela laa nto ka-apla ongahoywayo iBuffalo City. Xa sibizene no-comrade lowabo, sibizene ePhayofsini, sithethe nomeya, sizi-adresse izinto abane-problems ngazo. I know, before I sit down, that to Apla, I'm not sure whether it's the region or the province, based in Port Elizabeth, bathe kum bandibhalela incwadi uba bafuna undibona. Ndimfowunele ke, ndinguSpeaker waseBuffalo City andinguSpeaker weprovince. Sacaciselana ke savana uba ngenxa yoba uminister uzawuza apha eBuffalo City to discuss i-problems the military veterans associations. Bandibhalela ngelo hlobo mna as a speaker because izabe lapha eBuffalo City. Uzumeya nimbhalele na, but no simbhalele na. So we're waiting for that meeting. Sizayi-honorisha la meeting ibichazwa ngulo comrade uSepai. Kodwa i-meeting nawe sizayifuna very soon. Umfundisi ubanana Kajula uzothatha inamba yakho mna nawe sithethe. Savannah, yes, nansuka kula association yomkhonto wesizwe as a military member yomkhonto wesizwe. So sizawudibana kula level xa sincokola nje, but sizamu-involve. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Honourable Speaker, and today I'm holding two hats. I'm holding the hat of the acting executive mayor, and the other one is my position, which is public safety and emergency services. I'm going to deal with gender-based violence. In fact, gender-based violence and femicide is driven by Special Programs Unit and Women's Caucus in Buffalo City Metro. Public safety is part of a multi-stakeholders that are involved in ensuring the safety of women in the city. Victim empowerment support programs are led by SAPs, NGOs, and Buffalo City Metro. The executive mayor has championed gender-based violence. Working with the Women's Caucus, they have held many meetings in wards bringing up the plight of gender-based violence. It is something that the executive mayor is true to her heart, and therefore it is something that we as the Metro embrace, that we will be fighting gender-based violence. Coming back to how does this all connect? The Buffalo City Metro is embarking on the launch of the Community Safety Forum. Our Community Safety Forum will be launched at the end of June, whereby many stakeholders are part of that, including NGOs, and specifically the Masimanyane being the international NGO. We have just started with the one multi-stakeholder meeting. We'll be followed by a few this month, leading to the launch. Coming out of the community safety forums, it will then roll down to community safety forums per ward, whereby the ward councillors will be chairing those meetings, those forums, and all stakeholders will be part of that. So you will have your NGO sector, you will have your neighborhood watchers, you will have everybody that is looking at the safety of the city. Coming back to crime prevention, our crime prevention strategy is due for review in the 23-24 financial year. We are busy preparing that as we speak. We are busy rolling out the cameras for the city. Right now, we are currently dealing with the maintenance of the cameras that are here, and by the end of our term, we hope to have the city fully covered with CCTV cameras, as well as upgrading of our ops center. With regards to the liquor, we do have a policy for the liquor trading hours. We have started with operations. If you see, even in our 100 days, we have started policing the taverns and the outlets. And I think, as you know, we have had a challenge with the learners and the teenagers that are drinking, and specifically the invasion of our beachfront, which has been unacceptable. And I'm asking everybody here, do you know where your children are on a Saturday night? You might think they are at their friend's house, but believe you me, when we get to the beachfront on a Saturday night, you've discovered that that combi that came from soccer and rugby has done a detour to the beachfront, and your children are on the beachfront. So I'm now asking you, on a Saturday night, check where your teenagers are, because we as public safety are concerned, and we've had to look after your children that have come to the beachfront, and some had been passed out, and we had to take them home. With regards to there's one other one, the Tuteleza Center at Cecilia Makiwana. I will follow up. Yes, we will follow up with that as we start to work on our community safety forum. Those are areas and projects that we will be looking. You must understand that those are competencies of other government departments. So we work with SAPS, we work with the Department of Health, and we will follow up to actually look at with regards to that. The Safer City, yes, we are embarking on a Safer City program. We have made contact with the cities network, and we will be implementing our Safer Cities program starting from the our new financial year, 2023-2024. I think on the safety, those are all the areas. From the military veterans program, you did answer that. We have got a program for military veterans, and we are going to be dealing with that. The Metro is working with the military veterans. We've worked with them for many years. In 2016, we had a project called Coastal Protection Unit. We are once again looking at what projects we can engage with the military veterans. So that is something we are dealing with, and we'll be taking that forward with the relevant associations. The military veterans that we are dealing with are those that it is across the board, from the MK, APLA, it's across the board. It is not just one political grouping. Thank you. I think if that's, there's nothing more on that one. In cross-cutting issues, we have made a note here that 2 police stations servicing the areas of Kidd Street and Fleet Street, and yet crime is a challenge. We have put it into our IDP that we will be requesting through our intergovernmental relations for a mobile police station, and that is on the Ward 31. It is part of the IDP documents that is being developed. Thank you.
Umeya nayo ekusibuyisele nathi. Kodwa ke mina ke ndingu-Councillor Matwele, responsible for special planning and development. Bishop ke ukhala ngomhlaba wecawa. Andizama zosika umhlaba ke into ndizocacisa nje iprocess ukuthi kwenze kanjani uze silungiselelane ngalo mcimbi. Kwi-plans ezikhoyo zakwamasipala xa kuzawubakho uphuhliso ziba khona ii-areas eziyekwayo ukuthi ezi zizawuba ziindawo for iicala. Now ukuba ke kuye kwafumaniseka into yoba loo process ayisincedisi, okwesibini ukuthi wenza i-application ukwenzela into yoba loo application leyo iqwalaselwe sizokwazi uba silungiselelane. Ilapho indaba yethu yomhlendlela esidilishana nayo ngomhlaba. Remember, lo mhlaba ubangwa ngabakhuluwa, ubangwa zinkosi, ubangwa ngurhulumente. Asinakwenza nje ke, kufuneka sixoxe before senze uboniswane. Itsho ke le nto ngamanye amazwi, ukuba ngaba isigqeba senkonzo ngokuhlonipheka kwazo siza ngaphambili mhlawumbi kwi-ofisi kameya kuxoxwe ngalo mcimbi, akho ngxaki kuloo nto, kungaboniswana indlela ebheka phambili. Kodwa okwesibini koku kuthi kufuneka into yoba abo bathe benza ii-applications, ezo applications nazo zinayo indawo yokuhlalelwa, zixoxwe kuboniswane ngazo. So it's not that asinayo iplan sinayo, qha inoba ukuphosakala kwale ngcaciso endingqoyenza. Enkosi.
Enkosi kakhulu.
Enkosi Speaker, Executive Mayor, Councillors, politicians, abahlali bonke abalapha. Eyami encinci irezwe ngumama ophangela kamasipala ye-bush clearing. Ndiyayiphendula ke ngoba mhlawumbe bengayibuzeli yena kuba beseyibuzile wahlaliswa phansi kuba ephangela apha. I-department inophulo lokucoca i-city yonke, buyajonga i-grass cutting, i-bush clearing. Ward 47 uyiphathi yale program ye-100 days kameya. Enkosi.
Nama ngibulise lokho ukuthi ngokubanzi singqangane insibazayo. Ngimele uKhansela Tyala ndimbuye no mfutshana nakunafo. Zawudila lo mcimbi we-storage uDr. Live bethetha ngawo. Siwuphethe lo mcimbi we-load shedding. We are trying to provide alternative energy options for all our pump stations and treatment works. Sifuna exempt about the load shedding, but if these stages ziyenyuka kuzawuba nzima ukuba size-exempt because the targets for reductions are higher. So we're busy with that. Landela Sikofrog, busy in a pond by the provincial road, that department of transport by engage.
Baba invest on maintenance of roads in Buffalo City. So we'll come up with a program to respond on that. London fiscal plan, sisebenza nabo kakhulu lento ye communal toilets kwi-informal settlements. Sine caretakers, zonke ablution facilities zethu ezisiripotelayo i-falls qha ke ngenye ixesha i-budget kuthatha ixesha uba siyifumane siresponde kodwa sisebenza kakhulu nabo so bangasicontacta directly so that ezinye into sizithethe khusini. Enkosi kakhulu.
Yes.
Greetings to yourself, Honorable Speaker, Program Director. Greetings to the Acting Executive Mayor, Councillor Nelme, all mayoral committee members present, all councillors, all political parties here, especially greetings to the Secretary of our region, Comrade Antoni. Nabahlali ngokuphela bonke, ndingakhangishiye ngamuntu ngemva, ndibulise inkosi zethu, ndibulise isikhokhelo secawa. I think there was one thing that was raised with regards to LED, and to be raised on Mama, ngento yegadi yase 131. There are projects that were supporting as the directorate Pago 131. If mhlambi kukho le project yabo efuna ukwenza ulandelelo kuyo, sizakwenza follow up then sincedise apho sinokwazi ukuncedisa khona. Thank you very much.
Manjalo. No, you have covered the question.
Yes, the car wash.
Yeah,
car wash.
Yeah. You have covered the question, but also the car wash, but also how can they access your department? Local economic development, what can you say for them to access your department? What are you offering as a department?
Okay, no, thank you very much, Speaker. I-office zethu zikhona eQonce, zikhona eMdantsane, zikhona naseKodangeni village. Abahlali bangaya kuzo xa kukhona uncedo abafuna kulo. Kodwa sivumelene siyi-department into yokubana sizawubuya kwezi regions zonke esinazo, sihambe siyocacisa ngazo zonke izinto esizi-offerishayo. Siyabasapota abantu kwigadi, siyasapota kwinto ye-dipping tanks, siyasapota ii-artists zethu, but sine-program of action esinayo esizawuya kwezi areas siyocacisa ngakumbi kunoba sendicacisisile, Honorable Speaker. I think into yekhawashi u-executive mayor ebengomnye wabantu ebeyichampiona into yokuba aba bantu njengoba besitsho isithethe besireyisa apha into yokuba la manzi amosha indlela yethu. Sineplan ke siza kuyenza yokuthatha aba bantu ngoba sikwazi ususa abantu bezizamele sonke. Sineplan yokubathatha sibabeke somewhere so that bakwazi ukuoperate. Thank you very much.
You must accommodate. Bonke abantu bakho speaker. Bonke abantu bakho accommodate. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity as well this afternoon just to answer one question that was raised here in terms of the how. I think the person was concerned about how are we going to implement the approved budget, right? So yes, we have a 10.6 billion budget that was approved by Council. In terms of Section 217 of the Constitution, when it talks to procurement, we are going to ensure that some of the work, of course, is done internally, but some of the work we will outsource. While we are outsourcing, because we've been going around the IDP, we had business breakfast the other day, Speaker, and some of the concerns there was the SCM processes. So we're saying that we are going to ensure that we apply stricter controls in terms of your SCM process to allow for fair and competitive bidding while doing our work. So yes, we are going to make sure that the work is done and implemented in the time that is allocated in the budget. That is the financial year 23-24 and the outer years. Thank you.
Program Director, all my colleagues, everybody that's here today, and you look beautiful. This is honestly empowering. I was expecting a lot of flack, actually, and my understanding was It's questions and answers. So I didn't get any question, but everybody knows here that our sport was actually load shedding for a whole year. But what I can assure you is, with my new mayor that I have that is so passionate about this director, we're going to see a lot of change on these frontiers. And there was one question from Ward 8 regarding the Rockcliffe Heritage Site. I can assure you, say by next week, we will contact you, Mr. Manuel, and we will go on a site visit, and we'll definitely take it from there. I thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vuyani. Mr.
Mayor, Municipal Manager for Buffalo City. The issue that was raised was that along us building the houses, I think this was responded, that we should make available land for other important buildings like churches and other institutions, which I think we do. But the issue of the applications are handled by the Special Development Planning Department. But among other issues, we are building houses along with the Provincial Department of Human Settlement, who is handling mostly houses for destitutes and also doing rectification of houses. There are issues that were raised by the acting executive mayor when she was making a speech, where people felt that it was legally that is done on issues for housing for destitute people and also for rectification of houses. We have also been engaging with them. Now the executive mayor has called them, and that will then have to give answers to these things before the end of this financial year. So we are attending to that matter. Also the issue of us as Buffalo City trying to cut the long process where when we need houses, we need to go through the Human Settlement Department, and it makes the process longer and makes the time to respond to the houses even longer. So we are moving ahead with level 2 housing accreditation, where Buffalo City municipality will have a capacity to actually build houses via national department, will make the process even quicker and us to be much more effective in responding to housing needs in Buffalo City. I thank you.
City manager, because he just joined us, Mr. Yawa, Police Yawa. Can you stand up as city manager so that you greet the people? That's the city manager. Is it 4 months now or 3? This is the 3rd month. Let me say to, is it Canaan? Let me say to ladies from Canaan, the executive mayor is not here, but we are here. What we'll do, we've taken your numbers. The matter is a private matter between the board members and yourselves. But what we'll do next week, because it's Friday now, I'm going to brief the executive mayor so that we can meet you next week. And we can take it from there, because we must try and meet the board members of that Canaan. So that's what we can say and do at the municipality. Is that fine? Next week we'll call you, we'll meet you, we'll try and meet the board members. By the way, we'll have to request a meeting with them to discuss the matter. Is that okay? So that's how we're going to deal with this matter. There is no other way. But the executive mayor will have to be advised on your problems. Okay. All right, but numbers zenu sizithathile sendithi. I hope nezethu balulekile so that xa kungenzeki into on Monday in terms of the meeting nisifowunele, I can give you mine. Omnye wabatata balapha ecaleni kwakho basebukhosini bangakunika inamba yam. Khanimnike mhlekazi. We have come to the end of our session. The Chief Whip of...
To the councillorship, I'm humbled by your sacrificial work you are doing in serving our nation. If you like, you can develop this municipality and you can choose to put a demise, either choice, you make it will follow you and your generation. Please serve with care, respect and dignity as you are doing. Ekona, uSpeaker mosuthe kuhle uklinik eBuffalo City. Masincome xa kusenzeka. Singabi ngathi apha zonke into esizenzayo aziphumelela. Hayi yona itshintshe uqala eqonce iBuffalo City uzoma apha eIsland. Uklinik masivulele.
And as I was saying, this is the last round of interacting with communities. The council meeting at the end of this month will pass the budget to do all these things that we say we'll do. So that's when you have to call point of orders. And everything, because that will be a formal council.